Hello and welcome. Today we will be talking about grounding the work of mentoring, and we will be basing this discussion off of Chapter 1 in the Mentor's Guide. Learning on the part of both the mentor and the mentee grounds the work of mentoring. It is the reason we do what we do, the process we engage in during a mentoring relationship, and the outcome that both the mentor and the mentee seek. Genuine learning evolves through a process of exploration and discovery. It requires collaboration between the mentoring partners and a safe environment that honors the mentee's integrity and learning style. In creating a learning partnership, we're going to learn the perspective of what is called the collaborative mentoring paradigm, which is rooted in the principles and practices of adult learning. We'll be coming back to talk about Malcolm Knowles, who we've looked at before, and we will look specifically at how the learning relationship, both mentoring partners share accountability and responsibility for achieving the mentee's learning goals. Mentor and mentee work together to achieve specific, mutually defined goals that focus on developing the mentee's skills, abilities, knowledge, and thinking. It is in every way a learning partnership. And again, there is shared responsibility for achieving the goals. And one of the beauties in this relationship is that both parties end up benefiting. There ends up being growth within the mentor and the mentee. There are 7 elements of the learning-centered mentoring paradigm. They are reciprocity, learning, relationship, partnership, collaboration, mutually defined goals, and development. Reciprocity is the mutuality in a mentoring relationship. Learning is the heart of the mentoring relationship. The relationship is what builds the context for learning, and that partnership and collaboration within that relationship fosters that learning. Again, there are mutually defined goals, and there's development within both parties in the mentoring relationship. So the collaborative mentoring paradigm aligns with the principles of adult learning that are presented by Malcolm Knowles. The principles of adult learning defined in this theory that specifically align with the collaborative mentoring paradigm are listed below. And they are: adults learn best when they are involved in diagnosing, planning, implementing, and evaluating their own learning. The role of the facilitator is to create and maintain a supportive climate that promotes conditions necessary for learning to take place. The adult learners have a need to be self-directed. Readiness for learning increases when there is a specific need to know. Life's reservoir of experience is a primary learning resource. The life experiences of others enrich that learning process. And adult learners have an inherent need for immediacy of application, and they respond best to learning when they are internally motivated to learn, when they have a reason for what they're doing, which in mentoring, the reason that we do this is to help bring new teachers into the field and to share our wealth of experience with them. There are other adult learning theories that are also brought into the discussion here in Chapter 1, and they are emotional intelligence, self-directed learning, and transformational learning. So in looking at emotional intelligence, it is the ability to recognize and understand our own emotions, or our self-awareness, and the emotions of others, which is our social awareness, and how to use this ability to guide our behavior or our self-management and manage our relationships, which we call our relationship management. These are all things that take place within a mentoring relationship and need to be acknowledged. When looking at self-directed learning is something that also comes under the research of Malcolm Knowles. And he describes it as how adults take initiative and use resources to further their own learning efforts. And this comes into play in diagnosing needs, formulating goals, identifying learning resources, selecting and implementing learning strategies, and evaluating learning outcomes. So in transformational learning, something has changed or shifted as a result of the experience. And mentoring can be transformational for both the mentors and the mentees, which is part of that reciprocity. It's a mutually supportive relationship. There's growth occurring within both parties in that relationship. So I'm going to go back. At level 1, with unconscious incompetence, learning begins when we become conscious of what we do not know. In the first level, we don't know what we don't know. As a result, we may appear overconfident, and you may have a mentee who is new to his professional role and thinks he knows what he needs to learn. But in reality, he doesn't have a clue because he is essentially blind at what he doesn't know. Level 2 is what we call conscious incompetence. At this second level, we become aware of our lack of knowledge or understanding. And as these gaps surface, we become less confident. For example, you may realize that you need to learn more in order to become an effective mentor, and that's okay. That's a conscious incompetence, and you can create goals that help you to get to where you need to be. At level 3, which is conscious competence, the third stage, we are aware of what we don't know, and we develop the competency through concentration and practice. We work towards those goals that we may have set in level 2, and we're getting to where we need to be within level 3. Finally, level 4 is what we call unconscious competence. And in the fourth stage, unconscious competence is using the skill or knowledge that has become habitual and second nature to us. We do it. We do what we do. We know what we know. It's a part of everything that we do in our actions. Everyone has his or her own learning style. When both you and your mentee are familiar with your mentee's learning style, as well as your own, you can use that knowledge to help build the mentor-mentee relationship and also to facilitate learning. William Perry describes developmental continuum of progressively more complex meaning structures or ways of thinking that affect how we act, ways of being. Perry offers 4 frameworks: dualism, multiplicity, relativism, and commitment. Essentially, these are the lenses through which individuals may see the world. Knowing which lens your mentee is wearing is fundamental to your success in facilitating an effective learning relationship. Within dualism, this individual sees dichotomy and concreteness everywhere, right or wrong, we or they, should or should not. With multiplicity, this individual sees a person as having his or her own truth because everyone is entitled to their opinion. With relativism, this individual sees diversity of opinion everywhere and analyzes these opinions relative to each other. And with commitment, Perry's 4th framework, it is a little bit different because it describes ways of being rather than ways of thinking. A committed mentee is internally motivated to act out of awareness of relativism. As a mentor, you can facilitate learning by helping your mentee connect thinking with acting.